And here we go. At first, we will describe how to apply changes in each property of the objects you entered, which is the promotion project part 3. You will open your Visual Studio and go to the property screen and change whatever properties you need. Or you can go to your book and go back. If you entered the form, first you can change any property of those forms. Or you can go next for the button and change any property of those of the buttons, and so on, from this property window.
Okay, miss.
أهلا يا عبد الله. If you didn't have this property window, you can go to view tab and you will see I have a problem in my Visual Studio as my license is ended. This free trial is ended. But by the way, from the view tab, you can open the properties, you can open also the toolbox or the solution box. Fine. It's not working. Okay. This is our weekly plan. We will go to the book and open page 14 to start have small revision on what we said before of the code window. What is the code window? It is a place I wrote the code inside it. This is mainly the screen of my Visual Basic or Visual Studio. This screen contains parts, mainly 5 parts when you open the code. The first one is form 1, which is the name of the file which contain the codes. The form 1 is the place you will write the codes inside it. Number 2, it's form 1 VB, which is Visual Basic. Design, this is the interface of my application. The design and the shape of my interface. Number 3 is the class form. This is the name of the class you are writing the code inside it. Which is here public class form 1. So you are writing in this space, which is number 4, the space you are write the code inside it, in which class? In a class called form 1. And this is the name of my object. I'm writing the code or specifying the code for it. Number 5 is the end of my class, which is the end of my code. I have to put this end class to end the lines of code I want it to run inside my form. This is what we described before, and we will continue from the event handler. At first, what is the event handler? The event handler is a procedure which contains a code that's carried out when a corresponding event occurs. When you press, for example, when you press on a button, you will see an action happens. So this is an event. You will specify this event by creating an event handler to specify this event to this action. When you press on the button, you will get a text box open, or the result when you press equal, The result will be displayed in a label, and so on. To create an event handler, you have some steps. The first step, you will go to the Solution Explorer, where you have the project name here, which is called Shapes, for example, and you have your project and the Form 1. You will go to Form 1 and press right click on this Form 1 and choose View Code. You will choose View Code from the context menu. Choose View Code to see or start by displaying the code window, or please double click on it. You have two ways: right click and choose View Code, or double click on your form to open this. When you choose the View Code, this screen opens. What is its name? Its name is Form 1 VB, which contains mainly the code. We have inside it two drop-down lists up here inside this window, this code window. The firm square, the FRM, and the name of my project, which is square, and the declarations. What are the declarations? The declarations are any variable you identified or declared inside your code window, or it's mainly the action, any action. You can take it in any object from this square project. We will go down to see it in more details. Number one is a drop-down menu or drop-down list of the class names. What are the class names? Those are the objects I entered inside my form. I enter a button, label 1, and label 2, two labels, and a text box. If you select the button, you can see any declaration or any action could be done on this button, which is number 2, a drop-down menu of method names or events. The events you can choose to be done when you press or when you make any event on this object. Number 3 will make it more clear, as when you select button 1 from the class menu drop-down list, you will open the declarations, which is the method name, and choose click. Why click? Because simply, if I want a button, you have to press on it to have an event or to have an action, but to be done. So you will choose from here click. This will be more easy to insert a line of code while clicking without you display, without writing the whole of the line of code. If you choose only click, it will insert this line of code inside my class firm square. This line of code is specifying an action to be done when you press on this button. Let us express each part inside this line of code. We will start with number 1, or we will start from the top till the bottom. Number 1 is public class. This public class is the class of my whole project, which is firm square. The firm and the name of my project, which is a square. And I have a subclass inside it, which is a private class. This private class can be seen only by this public class. Any other class cannot see this class, this private class. It's a sub one, contains number one, which is button click. What is number one? Number one is the procedure's name, the procedure name composed of object name and event name. The object name is the button. Its name inside the properties window is button one. I didn't change its name. Its name by default button one. And underscore, then we have the event name. What is the event name? It's clicking. As its button, when I will click, it will make this code. This is number one. Number two is end sub, which is the end of this private sub line of code inside this main class. Number six is the end of my public class. Number five is my whole class. Number four is the space I will write the code, write any event between this starting of my private sub class and the end of my sub. This is between the two lines shown. The code will be executed on calling the procedures is written after the occurrence of the event. When you press on button one through a click, one click, these lines of code will be executed. The lines of code inside these two lines. The last is number three. Number three is what causes the call of the event, of the procedure, which is the event occur. The event occurs when? It occurs when you go to button one and click on it. This is also the same structure of this procedure name. Fine. Step number five is adjusting the property name. And this is what we said before, that you have to change the property name from the beginning in your property window. You can go to button one and change its name to btn calculate, as it's a button to calculate. Label one, you can change it to lbl length. It's mainly a label to identify the length or changing the length. This is the action I will make it. Or you can change the name of label 2 to lbl result. This is the label I will display the result inside it. Or you can change the text box 1 to txt length. The last part here inside our session is the setting the property programmatically. Here, this is the code you will write it, or the structure of the code, or the following syntax, which is the structure of your line of code. You will write it to be executed or to be done. At first, you will put the control name. What is the control name? Which is the name of the object. For example, if we go up, the first button is called button calculate. So the control name here, which is the object name, is btn calculate. Dot what? Dot property. What is the property you want it to be done? Equals a value. For example, btn calculate dot color equal red. You can specify a foreground or background color. The foreground is the color of my writing, and the background color is the color of the whole object or the whole button. So the main structure or the main syntax of my code is putting the object name, which is inside the property window, dot the property you will make. It can be an event, it can be any property inside the property window, and you will put equal value to put its value specified for this property. And this is the end of our book. And this is the last part, which is the code part of our project in the Visual Basic.